Innovation is becoming increasingly collaborative, especially for companies with a limited size, reach, or expertise. Working with partners is essential for commercial success. You can propose new ideas, combine technology expertise, and pool intellectual property rights to launch your product or service more quickly. Say you created the formula for pizza dough, which can expand to 20 times its original size. You partner an oven maker who can fire bake this in 2 minutes flat, and a chef with a secret sauce guaranteed to tickle your taste buds. Recipe for success? Maybe not. Collaborations often complicate the situation. Here are some questions you must ask before starting collaboration. Who brings what to the collaboration exactly? What about the rights of IP generated together? When can they be used? During the collaboration? How about after your collaboration ends? Where in the world will they be protected? Why should you work with these partners? How can you protect the IP that you are bringing into the collaboration? Which, by the way, is called background IP. There's also foreground IP or resulting IP, the rights developed during the collaboration by any of the parties, and sideground IP, any other IP developed that isn't part of the project scope. This is important because parties cannot license or assign joint IP from the collaboration unless the other parties agree. So collaboration isn't as straightforward as it seems. Here's a simple illustration that may help. Have you done a stock take of all your intangible assets? Make sure you know what IP rights belong to you and are recorded in collaboration agreements from the start. How will you divide up the ownership rights of shared IP? Can you use them after the project ends? Make sure you define ownership and permitted usage of IP rights for both foreground and background IP from the start. Sideground IP. Make sure there is no confusion with background or foreground IP. Include a clause that parties must seek the right to use such sideground IP directly in writing from the owner. When developing IP, you'll need agreements to control what can or cannot be done with your property in each market sector. IP can be sold or licensed. You may want to assign or transfer some of your IP rights, for a price of course. Negotiating a license can result in a very successful commercial relationship for both parties. By licensing, you grant permission to a third party to use your IP, but you continue to own it. There are plenty of risks to watch out for when entering a collaboration. What do you need to bear in mind? With our ultimate 15-point checklist, we ensure you're all covered. Are non-disclosure agreements in place? Have we safeguarded our ownership rights in contractual agreements with contractors, consultants, licensees, and other partners? Do we know what all our background IP is and who else's might be needed? How do we capture know-how and other confidential information generated during the project that might not be registrable? Have we got due diligence procedures in place? And 10 more you must read in our business guide, Partnering for Commercial Advantage.